My girlfriend insulted my mom at family dinner Sunday night. Maybe if you raised him better, he would make more money. So I looked her dead in the eye and said, "You are absolutely right, honey. We should probably head home now." She had no idea I had already been planning something that would change both our lives forever. I am Kieran, 29M, automotive parts manager for 6 years. My girlfriend Valentina, 27F, is a marketing coordinator making more than me, which never bothered me until last Sunday. My dad died in a construction accident when I was 2. Mom Patricia, 58F, raised me alone, working double shifts at the elementary school cafeteria. Never remarried. Never took vacations. Everything went to making sure I had what I needed. I have been taking care of her since I got my current job. Valentina and I have been together 2.5 years. She is beautiful, ambitious, comes from money. Her family owns dental offices. I thought love conquered different backgrounds. I was wrong. I had been saving for 8 months, working overtime every weekend, skipping nights out with the guys, eating ramen for lunch. Saved up $18,000 for the perfect engagement ring. Had it all planned out, was going to propose next month on her birthday. Sunday was special, family dinner at Mom's so Valentina could meet my aunts, uncles, and cousins. Mom spent all Saturday cooking, cleaned the house top to bottom. She was excited to have everyone together. The house is modest, 2-bedroom ranch from 982. Nothing fancy, but it is home and paid off. Mom had the dining room table Dad built set with her good china. Dinner started great. Mom made pot roast. My cousin brought guitars, everyone laughing and telling stories. Mom showed Valentina photo albums, talking about my little league days, how proud she was of my promotion. "Look at this," Mom said, pointing to me at 17 with my first AutoZone paycheck. He was so excited to start working, wanted to help pay for groceries. Valentina was checking her phone, looking uncomfortable. She had been quiet, giving short answers when people asked about work. My Aunt Maria asked if she was okay, said she seemed tired. "Just a long week," Valentina said, not looking up from her phone. Then Mom mentioned my recent promotion. "I am so proud of him," she said, squeezing my shoulder. "He works 70 hours some weeks. Never complains. Just like his father." That is when Valentina snapped. "Maybe if you raised him better, he would make more money instead of breaking his back in some warehouse." The entire table went dead silent. Forks stopped moving. My cousin Danny's guitar went quiet. I watched my mom's face change. The proud smile melted away, replaced by this look of confusion and hurt that I will never forget. My uncle Roberto started to say something, but I held up my hand. My blood was boiling, but I kept my voice calm. "You are absolutely right, honey," I said, standing up. "We should probably head home now." Valentina looked surprised but didn't argue. She grabbed her purse and we left. The whole drive home was silent. When we got to her apartment, she acted like nothing happened. "Your family's nice," she said casually. "A little loud, but nice." I just nodded and said I'd call her tomorrow, but I knew I wouldn't. I drove to the 24-hour diner on 5th Street and sat there until 3 a.m., drinking coffee and thinking about everything. About how my mom worked doubles so I could play baseball. How she had packed my lunch every day through high school even though I told her I was old enough to do it myself. How she cried when I got my first real job. Not because she was sad, but because she was proud. Valentina had just called the strongest woman I know a failure. She insulted the woman who raised me to be a man. And for what? Because I don't wear suits to work? Because I get my hands dirty for a living? Monday morning, I called the jeweler to return the ring. Got my $18,000 back that afternoon. Went straight to the travel agency and asked about European packages. 3-week tour, Paris, Rome, Barcelona, London. First-class flights, 5-star hotels. How much for 2 people? $16,000 for the premium package. Book it. I drove to Mom's house that evening. She was in the kitchen washing dishes, humming some old song Dad used to play on the radio. Still had on her work uniform from the cafeteria. "Hey baby," she said when I walked in. "How is Valentina? I hope she didn't feel uncomfortable yesterday." That broke my heart. Even after being insulted in her own home, Mom was worried about Valentina's feelings. "Mom, sit down. I have something for you. I handed her the travel brochures and tickets. She looked confused at first. Then her eyes went wide. Kieran, what is this? We are going to Europe, Mom, 3 weeks. Paris, Rome. All the places you used to talk about visiting with Dad. She started crying, not little tears, full-on sobbing, baby. I cannot accept this. This is too much money. Yes, you can, I said, holding her hands. You deserve the world, and I am finally in a position to give you a piece of it. But what about Valentina? Didn't you say you were saving for something special? I looked at my mom, this incredible woman who sacrificed everything for me, who never spoke badly about anyone, who taught me what real love looks like. I was saving for something special, I said. Turns out I was saving it for the right person all along. We leave for Paris next Friday. I still haven't told Valentina about the breakup yet, but I will. Right now I am too excited planning this trip with Mom. She has been studying French on YouTube and reading travel guides, like she is cramming for finals. My buddy Donovan thinks I am crazy for spending that much money, but he didn't see my mom's face when she insulted her. Some things are worth more than money. Some people deserve Paris more than others deserve rings. But here is what I cannot figure out. What happens when Valentina finds out I am taking Mom to Europe instead of proposing to her? Because something tells me this story is just getting started. Update 1. Thanks to everyone telling me I made the right choice. Had to wait until today because my phone screen cracked and I just got it fixed. Tuesday I called Valentina to break up. We met at the coffee shop near her office. She walked in talking about wedding venues. I have been thinking about what you said at dinner, she said, showing me Pinterest boards. I think we should start looking at places for next summer. Valentina. Stop. We need to talk. About what? I thought we were past all that family drama. Family drama? That is what she called it. There is no we anymore. I am breaking up with you. Her face went through 5 expressions before settling on confused anger. Because of Sunday, you are being ridiculous. You insulted my mother in her own home, and you don't even think you did anything wrong. She rolled her eyes. Actually rolled her eyes. I was just being honest. You could do better than warehouse work if you applied yourself. I was trying to motivate you, motivate me. You told my mom she failed as a parent because I work with my hands instead of wearing a suit. I didn't say she failed. That is exactly what you said. The conversation went downhill from there. She accused me of being oversensitive. Said I was choosing my family over our future. Told me I had never find anyone better than her. That I was making the biggest mistake of my life. Fine, she said finally, standing up so fast her chair scraped against the floor, but don't come crawling back when you realize what you gave up. I stayed calm the whole time. Didn't raise my voice, didn't call her names. Just sat there thinking about Mom crying over those Paris tickets. I will not, I said. Because I already know what I chose, and she is worth 10 of you. Valentina stormed out, leaving me to pay for her untouched latte. Didn't even bother to ask for her key to my apartment back. Found it on my kitchen counter when I got home, along with the necklace I gave her for Christmas. Wednesday, I picked up Mom's new passport. She was so nervous at the photo appointment, kept fixing her hair and asking if she looked okay. The woman taking pictures said she had never seen someone so excited about a passport photo. Thursday, we went shopping for the trip. Mom tried to buy everything from the clearance rack until I told her we were getting proper luggage and clothes. Watching her try on outfits was like seeing a kid in a candy store. She kept asking if things were too expensive, and I kept telling her nothing was too expensive for this trip. I feel like Cinderella, she said, looking at herself in a sundress she picked out for Rome. I never thought I had owned anything this nice. That night she called her sister in Phoenix to tell her about the trip. I could hear my aunt screaming with excitement through the phone. Mom was giggling like a teenager, making lists of everything she wanted to see. Friday morning, yesterday, I started posting about the trip on social media. Nothing big. Just a picture of our boarding passes with the caption, "Taking my queen to see the world." My phone started blowing up immediately. Cousins sharing it. High school friends commenting, Even my old boss from 3 jobs ago liked it. But here is where it gets interesting. Apparently some of Valentina's friends saw the post. Jessica, the one with the wedding planner connection, called her asking what happened to the engagement. My buddy Donovan was at the gym and overheard Valentina on the phone in the parking lot. She was crying, asking Jessica if she thought I was serious about this being over. Said she thought I was just trying to scare her. He is really taking his mom to Europe. Donovan heard her say, with the money he saved for my ring. Then yesterday evening, Valentina texted me. First time since the coffee shop, we should talk. I think I understand now. I didn't respond. We are leaving for Paris in 6 hours and I am not letting her drama follow us across the Atlantic. But guys, something tells me this is far from over. My cousin Maria just called and said Valentina showed up at Mom's house an hour ago. Mom didn't answer the door, but she was knocking for 10 minutes and left something on the porch. I am heading over there now to see what she left. Mom's at her friend Betty's house getting her nails done for the trip, so she doesn't know yet. Part of me is curious, but mostly I am pissed. We have a 6 a.m. flight, and I don't need this drama. But I have a feeling whatever Valentina left on that porch is going to change everything again. We'll update from Paris if I can get Wi-Fi in the hotel. Pray for me, guys. Update 2, writing this from the most beautiful hotel room I have ever seen in my life. We are on the 7th floor overlooking the Seine, and Mom hasn't stopped taking pictures since we got here 8 hours ago. But first, I need to tell you what Valentina left on Mom's porch, because you guys were right. This shit got way more complicated than I expected. It was a letter. 3 pages. Handwritten. Along with a bottle of my mom's favorite wine and some expensive chocolates. The letter started with an apology to Mom, talking about how she came from a different background and didn't understand the value of hard work standard stuff. But the second page, that is where it got weird. She wrote about how her own mother grew up poor in Mexico, worked as a housekeeper for rich families before meeting Valentina's dad, how her family climbed their way up and now she was embarrassed of those roots. Said seeing my mom's pride in me made her realize she had lost touch with what really mattered. The third page was about me. How she had been feeling insecure about our relationship because her friends kept asking when I was going to propose, how she thought pushing me to be more ambitious would make me worthy of her family's approval. I love him, she wrote to my mom, but I was trying to change him instead of loving who he is. You raised a good man, Mrs. Patterson. I am sorry I couldn't see that. I read it sitting on Mom's porch at 5 a.m. before we left for the airport. Didn't know what to think. Part of me was impressed. She could write something that deep. Another part was suspicious about the timing. But here is the thing. It didn't matter, because we were already on our way to Paris. And I wasn't going to let her letter ruin the trip I had been planning for weeks. The flight was incredible. Mom had never been on a plane before. She gripped my hand during takeoff, then spent 6 hours staring out the window like she was watching the most amazing movie ever made. The flight attendants loved her, kept bringing her extra snacks, and showing her how everything worked. I cannot believe I am really doing this, she kept saying. I wish your father could see this. We landed at Charles de Gaulle this morning and took a taxi to the hotel. Mom's eyes were wide the entire ride. When the driver found out it was her first time in Paris, he took a longer route past the Eiffel Tower. The hotel is incredible. 5 stars, marble lobby, champagne waiting in our rooms. Mom called me crying because she couldn't believe how fancy everything was. This is how movie stars live, she said. I don't belong here. You belong here more than anyone, I told her. We spent the afternoon in Montmartre. Mom wanted to see everything. Artists, cafes, street musicians. She bought postcards and kept asking for pictures. Send this one to Donovan, she said, posing next to a street artist. Tell him this is what happens when you raise your son right. That is when my phone started buzzing. Not just texts, calls, Facebook messages, Instagram notifications. The pictures I had been posting were going viral among everyone we knew. The one of Mom eating her first croissant at a sidewalk cafe had 200 likes in an hour. But the notifications weren't all positive. Mixed in with the congratulations and heart emojis were messages asking about Valentina. Where was she? Why wasn't she on the trip? What happened to the engagement? I ignored most of them, but one made me stop scrolling. It was from Valentina's mom, Mrs. Rodriguez. Kieran, I need to speak with you about what my daughter did. Please call when you can. I stepped away from Mom, who was arguing with a street vendor about buying too many souvenirs, and called Mrs. Rodriguez back. She answered on the first ring. Kieran, thank God, where are you? Paris, madam. With my mom, there was a long pause. Paris, of course. Listen, I heard what happened at dinner. Valentina told me yesterday. Did she tell you what she said to my mother? She did, and I am horrified. Mrs. Rodriguez's voice was shaking. I raised her better than that. My mother cleaned houses so I could go to school. My husband worked 2 jobs so Valentina could have everything. For her to insult your mother, I don't know where I went wrong. She told me about the fight when Valentina came home crying about the breakup. How Mrs. Rodriguez demanded to know exactly what was said. How she had slapped Valentina when she heard the story. She thinks you will take her back if she apologizes enough, Mrs. Rodriguez said. But I told her some things cannot be fixed with sorry. I told her she lost a good man because she forgot where she came from. We talked for 20 minutes. She apologized for her daughter, asked me to give regards to my mother. Before hanging up, she said something that stuck. Real love means loving someone's family, not trying to change them. You deserve better. After we hung up, I looked over at Mom. She was sitting at a cafe table, writing in the journal she had bought at the airport, trying to capture every detail of the day. She looked up and smiled at me, this huge, genuine smile that made everything worth it. Having fun? She asked. The best day of my life, I said, and I meant it. We had dinner at this little restaurant the hotel recommended. Mom ordered everything in French, using the phrases she had been practicing. The waiter was so charmed by her enthusiasm that he brought us free dessert. Tomorrow we are seeing the Louvre, she said, looking at our itinerary. Then the Eiffel Tower at sunset. Then that river cruise with dinner. She was glowing. Absolutely glowing with happiness. That is when I got another text from Valentina. This time it wasn't asking to talk. It was a screenshot of one of my Paris posts that had been shared by someone we both knew. I see you are having fun. I guess I have my answer about us. I showed Mom the text. She read it and shook her head. That girl's got a lot of growing up to do, she said. But that is not your problem anymore. Baby, your only job is to show your mama Paris. We are getting up early tomorrow to see the sunrise from Sacre-Cœur you are. Mom's already laid out her outfit and charged her camera battery. She is more excited than a kid on Christmas morning. But guys, I have a feeling this isn't over yet because, just as I was typing this, I got a notification that someone had tried to call me 17 times while my phone was on airplane mode. All 17 calls were from Valentina, and she just texted. I am at the airport. We need to talk face to face. She is flying to Paris. To find me? This woman is either completely insane or completely in love. And honestly, I cannot tell which is scarier. Mom's asleep in the next room. And I am not telling her about this until I figure out what the hell is happening. Going to try to get some sleep and deal with this tomorrow. But something tells me our peaceful European vacation just turned into something else entirely. Final update. Well guys, this is probably my last update for a while. And honestly, I couldn't have written a better ending if I tried. Yesterday morning, Mom and I were having breakfast on our hotel balcony when my phone rang. Unknown international number, Kieran. It is me, Valentina. Calling from Charles de Gaulle Airport. What the hell are you doing in Paris? I asked. Stepping inside so Mom couldn't hear. I flew out last night. I need to see you. To apologize to your mom in person. To fix this, I almost laughed. Valentina. You cannot just fly to another country and expect everything to be okay. I know how this sounds, but please, give me 10 minutes. I will say what I need to say to your mother, and then I will leave you alone forever if that is what you want. Mom had come inside and was looking at me with concern. I covered the phone. It is Valentina. She is here. In Paris. Mom's eyebrows shot up. Here, as in France here. I nodded. Mom sat down heavily on the bed. What does she want? Mom asked. I relayed the question to Valentina, who said she just wanted to apologize face to face, and then she would go home. Mom was quiet for a long moment, then looked at me. Baby, what do you want to do? That is my mom. Even after being insulted, she was asking what I wanted, not telling me what to do. I want to enjoy Paris with you, I said, but I also don't want to spend the rest of the trip wondering what she would have said. Mom nodded. Then let's meet her. Get it over with. But somewhere public. An hour later, we were sitting at a cafe near the Louvre. Mom looked beautiful in the blue dress we had bought for sightseeing. I was nervous as hell, but she seemed calm. Valentina showed up looking like she had been crying for 12 hours. No makeup, messy ponytail, jeans and wrinkled t-shirt. I had never seen her look so normal. She sat down and immediately started crying. Mrs. Patterson, I am so sorry, she said. What I said was cruel and wrong. You raised an incredible man. And I was too stupid to see that. Mom listened without interrupting. I have been thinking about nothing else since Sunday. Valentina continued, about how my grandmother worked as a maid, how my mother started with nothing, how they would be ashamed of who I have become. She turned to me. I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed you both to know that I understand what I lost, and it wasn't because you weren't good enough for me. It was because I wasn't good enough for you. The whole speech took maybe 5 minutes. When she finished, she just sat there crying quietly. Mom reached across the table and took her hand. Honey, Mom said gently, thank you for coming all this way to apologize. That took courage, and I forgive you. Valentina looked shocked. You forgive me? Of course I do. But forgiving you doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen. You hurt me. And more importantly, you hurt my son. That is not something you can fix with a plane ticket and an apology. Mom looked at me, then back at Valentina. Kieran is a good man because he was raised to value people for who they are, not what they have. The woman who ends up with him will understand that. You are young, you can learn that lesson, but you cannot learn it with him. Damn. My mom just delivered the classiest breakup speech in the history of breakup speeches. Valentina nodded through her tears. I know I cannot fix this. I needed you to know that I know I was wrong. She turned to me one last time. I hope you have the most amazing trip. I hope she gets to see everything she has ever dreamed of, and I hope someday you find someone who loves your family the way they deserve to be loved. Then she got up and left. Just like that. Walked away down the street without looking back. Mom and I sat in silence for a few minutes, watching tourists walk by. You okay? I asked. I am proud of you, she said. You handled that whole situation, like a man, like the man I raised you to be. What do you think about her flying here? Mom considered this. I think she has got some growing up to do, but her heart might be in the right place. Just took her too long to find it. We spent the rest of the day at the Louvre. Mom was fascinated by everything, especially the Egyptian artifacts. We took probably 100 pictures. That evening, we did the sunset tour of the Eiffel Tower. Mom cried when it lit up. Said it was more beautiful than any picture. We had dinner on the river cruise, and she danced with the ship's captain. This is the best day of my life, she told me walking back to the hotel. Better than I ever imagined. We are leaving Paris tomorrow for Rome, then Barcelona, then London. Mom's already planning our next trip, Ireland and Scotland next year. I haven't heard from Valentina since the cafe. No calls, no texts. I think she meant what she said about leaving us alone. My posts are still going viral. That picture of Mom dancing with the ship's captain has 500 likes. Everyone's commenting about how happy she looks. Donovan texted, Bro, you are famous for being the best son in America. 3 different girls asked for your number after seeing the Paris posts. I showed Mom the text, she grinned. My son's a catch, she said. Always has been. The truth is, I don't regret anything that happened. Not the dinner, not the breakup, not spending the ring money on this trip, because I got to see my mom experience Paris for the first time. I got to watch her face light up when she tried escargot. I got to take a picture of her crying happy tears in front of the Mona Lisa. That is worth more than any relationship with someone who couldn't see what an amazing woman my mother is. Some of you guys asked if I had ever take Valentina back if she really changed. Honestly, it doesn't matter anymore because I learned something important this week. The right person for me will love my mom from day one. They will not need a trip to Paris to figure out that she is incredible. They will just know. And when I find that person, I am bringing them to Sunday dinner at Mom's house. If they can handle pot roast and photo albums and stories about my little league days, then maybe we will talk about rings. But first, I am taking my queen to see Rome. Thanks for following this journey, guys. Sometimes the best revenge is living your best life. Sometimes your mom deserves Paris more than your ex deserved a ring. Kings, remember, the woman who raised you deserves respect from anyone who wants to be in your life. If they cannot honor your mother, they don't deserve your love. My mom got Paris. My ex got a reality check. I got the best vacation with my favorite person. That is what winning looks like. Signing off from the City of Light. Next stop, Rome, where I am watching my mom eat real Italian gelato. Life is good with priorities.